Hi, I'm Thea, Jirak. Welcome back to the Glory Be Block of the Month program. Today we're making block 6. Today's block is Ohio Star, and it's right next to block 5, which we made last month, the French Bear Paw, and next to block 4, which was made as the monkey wrench. In the Ohio Star, we're going to learn a new technique this month, and we're going to take the half square triangles, which we've already learned how to make, and we're going to put them together with other half square triangles to make quarter square triangles. A half square triangle takes a square and divides it into 2 triangles. A quarter square triangle takes a square and divides it into 4 triangles. Let me show you how we do this. If you'll remember, we take 2 squares, we're going to draw a line up the center, and we're going to sew a 1/4 inch on either side of that, just shy of a 1/4 inch on either side of that line, cut it apart and press it open. When we press it open, it gives us 2 half square triangles. They look just like this. We're going to do that with 2 colors, and we're going to take 2 other colors and make another set. You want to check your pattern for which fabrics to put where, so that you can get the right fabrics for Lexington and the right fabrics for Color Kazoo. When we have these made, you take 1 of each and you put them together. Now what's important to notice about these, we haven't trimmed them down yet because we haven't gotten to our final block size. What's important to notice is that we've pressed to the dark on both of these. Now we're going to put them together, and when we do, the seams from both of the half square triangles will snug up right next to each other. So you put them together so that the seams snug right up next to each other. 2 triangles on the bottom, 2 triangles on the top. Lay this down on your work surface. We're going to take our pencil and our ruler, and now across the seam. So notice that your seam is going from right to left, and we're drawing our line from top to bottom. When I get ready to put these together, I pin mine because I don't want that seam to shift at all. I want those 2 seams to snug right up next to each other. So if you can pin yours this way, I think you'll find it easier to do. I've put a pin on either side. I'm going to go back to my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew just like I did before, hold my thread, and I'm going to sew just shy of a 1/4 inch on either side of that line. Now when you get close to the center, you want to just lift it up and peek and make sure that that seam hasn't flipped over when you're sewing. Make sure that it's flat and going in the correct direction. We're just going to lift our presser foot, turn it around, and sew down the other side. Same thing on this one. When you get to the middle, you just pick it up and peek and make sure that that seam hasn't turned over. When I'm done, I'm going to take it out of my sewing machine, cut my threads, take my pins out, and with my ruler and my rotary cutter, I'm going to cut on the line that I drew. And when I open those up, I have 4 different fabrics, I have 4 triangles, and I have a 1/4 square triangle that's going to work in my block. You can press this flat and then square it up. Remember when you're squaring these up that what you're going to do is match the diagonal all the way across. Now we need these to be 3.5 inches. One of the tricks, one of the little helpful hints on squaring up 1/4 square triangles. If you have to square it up to 3.5 inches, you want the center of this 1/4 square triangle to be at 1 3/4, or exactly half of 3.5 inches. You make sure that that 45-degree line that goes from corner to corner is going on your seam, and as before, we're going to square up one side and then square across the top. Now we can pick up our 1/4 square triangle, turn it over, and making sure that our center is at 1 3/4, our side is at 3.5, and the bottom is at 3.5. We're going to cut up one side and across the top And our quarter square triangle has very sharp points, and it's ready to put in our block. That's what gives you your star points. You're going to make 4 of those for each block. And what you'll notice is that they're 3.5 inches. You'll have 3 blocks in each row. You're going to put your rows together and then sew your rows to each other. That's how you finish up block 6, the Ohio Star. You'll have 4 of these finished, which you can now put with your blocks from month 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Don't forget, we're not ready to sew them together yet. We'll see you next month, and happy quilting.